and welcome to Soul. I am grateful you are taking time to listen to our story today and hope that your day is full of magic. If it isn't, remember that you yourself are magic. I'd like to spend our time today discussing boundaries. Now, people speak a lot about the art of saying no, but I've realized in myself and in some friends that sometimes a situation may be interpreted as rude when someone says no. At work, it may be, you're not a team player when you won't take more things on. It could be in a relationship that, you're not putting in your share. So here's a few considerations on saying no or placing boundaries. First, let's define boundaries. A misconception is that boundaries close you off, but that's building walls. The goal here is not to build walls to close ourselves up, but to open ourselves up. And that's exactly why we need boundaries. But, like everything, there are rules. Silliest analogy, but think about it this way. If you visit a food truck that serves lunch at lunchtime and you find it closed, that's a wall. Done. Let's say it's open, but they refuse to give you food. Also a wall. No food for you at all. Now instead, what we want to look at is the rules of the food truck. They may start serving food at a certain time. You need to specify any allergies in advance, communicate what you want, and there needs to be a friendly exchange with the person because, we're all human beings. There'll be a line that we're going to respect. And so, number 1, boundaries are not walls. Number 2, it's not rude to have boundaries. You can have boundaries and still be kind. You're supposed to be kind. The whole point of boundaries is that you're showing that you are human and kind. In fact, when someone sets a boundary with you, it is actually a good thing. Rather than cutting someone off or building a wall, setting a boundary means you want to continue keeping this person in your life, within the boundary of your wall. But it has to be based on agreed upon space that allows for comfort and instead prioritizes the things that you want to say yes to with or without that person. And of course, it goes both ways. So number 3, there is no guilt in boundaries. If someone plays the victim card or tries to gaslight you, do not let this allow you to have others step on your boundaries. I remember personal experience of mine. I met someone who got let go of their job and asked me to help out. So I started sharing job postings and doing anything I could do, really, like sharing any job that I could find, saying, this looks like a good fit. What are you looking for? And asking all those types of questions, really, which you do when you're helping out a friend. But then they asked me to just write cover letters and apply on their behalf. At first I thought, okay, maybe that'll make me a good friend. But actually I realized this is not something that a friend would ask me to do to begin with. And I thought about all of my closest friends, and they would never put me in this position. And here's where I needed boundaries. I got an earful for it, but this leads me to number 4, and that is that boundaries are essential for your mental health. It's okay to know your limits and teach others what they are. In fact, it's important, and if they can't take your no, then number 5, let go. If boundaries are not respected over and over again, we can let go of the person, the project, the relationship. And I say over again because we're trying to practice forgiveness, right? The goal is to keep practicing forgiveness and giving people chances and understanding that none of us are perfect. We're all human. But still, ultimately, if it doesn't work out, let go. Number 6, no is an answer. I would personally add no thank you or no sorry, but that's enough with no explanation needed for certain things. The flip side of this is number 7, yes, is also an important answer. Saying no basically means that you are saying no to the things that don't serve you and instead making space for the things that you want to say yes to. So say yes more often to things that you actually care about and you actually would like. And number 8, finally, boundaries mean that you are letting go of the responsibility of other people. It's not your responsibility how people are going to respond to your boundaries. You are responsible for setting them, but they need to honor them. And the whole point is that if it is a healthy relationship, again, be it a romantic relationship, a friendship, a colleague, something at work, a project, a teammate, a sports team, a government, right? If your boundaries are not honored, if you feel like you're setting boundaries and it feels like the end of the world, then that's not a healthy relationship. This is where we come to the cutoffs. This is where we notice signs of manipulations. So take these 8 little things about Boundaries 101. Practice the art of saying no. Remember that ultimately the point is to honor, to appreciate. And even though you can make time for people, you need to make time for yourself. So it's okay to say no. It's important to say yes to the things that you actually care about. And build more boundaries, not walls. Walls really are the worst case scenario. And worst really is not the right word here. It's not that it's an awful thing. On the contrary, it's a very healthy thing. It's more, human beings, we want to continue keeping contact with people, but sometimes you just can't. And that's okay. And of course, remember, everything happens step by step, day by day. So keep practicing, saying no, and building those boundaries. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week on Soul.